Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Battlefield 2042 3.2 update. Alright guys, so jumping into the notes, I just want to mention the DICE team and them putting this out a little bit early for those of us who are content creators, but I still like to wait until the actual date of the update to really go into details should anything change. And of course, the download came very early in the morning my time at about 3 a.m. on the East Coast. And the team says, we hope you all had a good holiday break. Well, most of us did, except for many of us that were playing and were concerned about the game. But other than that, Update 3.2 will be available January the 20th, which is today, Thursday. And it says here, you'll find fixes for hit registration issues related to Sundance and vehicle passenger weapons, which was always good. Getting out of vehicles, there was issues with weapons either not going up or down, or you couldn't ADS. And Sundance, in and of herself, I think really her specialty grenades really kind of need to be adjusted, but that's a whole other story. So let's get straight into the fixes, changes, and improvements, I say. The general is they fix an issue while leaving a party during matchmaking could make the game unresponsive. Now, I didn't leave a particular group because we can't make another group, which is something that I would like to see, to be able to make a new squad, particularly when I'm with my guildmates and there's not all four of us on. Sometimes when we have three or maybe even two and we get into a group or the game matches us with squad mates, sometimes we aren't the ones who are in control, which isn't an issue as long as the squad leader is marking flags. And that's kind of one of the issues that I've had with the game, is the inability to mark flags and or to take squad leadership if someone is not marking flags or giving directions, or allowing us to have some level of strategy. So fixed an issue where connection to the EA servers after signing up with a new account would not work. Okay, so those of you who are having trouble getting in with new accounts. Updated behavior of the quit button during gameplay. All right, so that'll return you back to the correct screen. Fix an issue where the loading music would stop playing. All right, so these are kind of innocuous type changes here. So some of the soldier fixes: a rare occurrence where after landing with the wingsuit, hits wouldn't allow register on some part of the Sundance hitbox. Okay, so it kind of gave her a little bit more of a difficulty in hitting her, I suppose. Occurrences of rubber banding when running behind friendly players. Collision is an issue in the game, particularly around doors when you're trying to get in and out. I can't tell you how many times I've run into players when I'm trying to get away from an enemy and they're blocking the door, thinking, obviously that they're going to come in and maybe take out that enemy, but they block the doors and so forth. And that's not even getting into Irish's shields that people put down in front of doors. But the rubber banding seems to be more of a concern, at least among my guildmates, when it came to the various rocket pods and rockets from the helicopters and vehicles. So maybe that will be part of it. We'll have to wait and see. A rare issue that could cause you to be stuck in both an alive and downed loop. I've only had that happen to me a couple of times, but I'm glad to see that that's fixed. A variety of issues with attaching attaching to ladders that could cause you to get stuck in a state where you could fly away or lose control of your specialist. Can't say that I ever had that experience, but I'm sure a lot of players are probably glad. Issues where soldier movement speed was impaired by nearby explosions that spawned craters. Now, I don't know if that again goes back to what we were just saying with the rubber banding type effect, or snaring effect as we called it, from rocket pods. An issue where camera shake and audio for landing would unintentionally trigger when dropping from very small heights. That's wasn't a particular major issue, I don't think, for anyone, but if it was an issue for you, please let me know down below, as well as let me know down below what you think about the updates and where you are in the game. Does this patch, just give you more incentive to want to come back and try them out? An issue where weapons from a loadout crate would sometimes inherit ammo from the previously selected weapon. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Can't say that I've had that issue. Now, we have one of our guildmates that runs Angel, but can't say that I've ever had that issue. An issue where being spotted when firing a weapon would spot you for too long. Now, of course, we will at some point probably go into various weapons, have that kind of planned out to do SMGs, LMGs, and the weapons in general. And of course, we know of only the heavy suppressor that actually keeps you off radar within 20 meters, because any suppressor we've found in the game so far, if you're within 20 meters, you're going to be spotted. But we're also talking about a game where specialists and devices and you're just people are constantly being spotted by vehicles. They're being spotted by SOFLAMs. They're being spotted by proxy grenades. They're being spotted by Rose abilities. There's a lot of spotting in the game for people to be spotted. So apparently in some situations, people were spotted for a little too long. And then we're talking about stability. Added multiple fixes to improve overall game stability. That's quite nice. I know that within the last 2 NVIDIA updates, it seems like my frames were hovering around 50, sometimes as low as 50, I should say. But I also play on kind of higher settings and Ultimate in some of those. So that kind of makes sense in some ways. But then again, the game is not fully optimized, and who knows what more they're going to add to it to fix the game. They also fixed a rendering related crash that could occur to AMD Radeon 7 users while Sundance was visible on screen. Now, I do have a Radeon 7 3700, and I haven't played a lot of Sundance because of her grenades, but if you guys were having an issue with that with the Radeon 7, now you know that that's been corrected, or we hope. Weapons, Sniper and SOFLAM scope glint now show from a further distance. Now, okay, so now the SOFLAM will be a little bit more obvious when people are using it. I personally like the SOFLAM. I think it's a great device, and as we just talked about, there are so many ways to spot players in the game, but nonetheless, now Sniper and the SOFLAM scope glints will now show at a further distance. And then vehicles, fix an issue where passenger weapons would no longer be in sync whenever the driver's turret would rotate. So you guys were kind of out of sync. I know it kind of made it difficult to drive sometimes when that was happening. So, and causing bullets to not register when firing at enemies. And the M1A5 and the T28 improved the effective range and reduced spread on canister weapon pod. Now, I like the canister weapon pods. If you guys haven't seen it, in my last video short from YouTube, we kind of demonstrated the weapon pod there on the Wildcat, which was really kind of amazing. If you can land them just right around air vehicles or even vehicles in general, it really does some tremendous damage. Then we got the Battlefield Hazard Zone, fixed a black rectangle being present on screen during Hazard Zone. And I have to confess, guys, I have not played Hazard Zone. I'm not in any way have any sort of desire to play that mode. Now, that's not to suggest that I don't like Battle Royale or Extraction mode type gameplay. It's just for here on 2042, it just really wasn't what I expected. I don't play Battlefield for any sort of Battle Royale mode. I'm not saying that I reject it. I'm just saying that I don't typically play it for that. And then we have the Battlefield Portal. The server info tab now persists after hitting refresh in the Portal server browser. For those of you using the browser, I have made my own little server thing to do some testing, and there were some issues with teammates, guildmates, and so forth being able to find the actual server. Fix an issue where text would overlap when joining a team deathmatch game during the end of round sequence. And rules editor. So they're making some changes to the rules editor, and we're going to go into that in just a second. Is inventory slot active? Value now correctly handles melee weapons, and then certain admin commands can no longer be spam. Now, it's important to point out here now, this has been something that a lot of people have talked about when they introduced the new Scoreboard. And as you can see, it is pretty nice. I mean, it gives us a little bit more information. Now, of course, you're going to have to go more into looking at it more definitively, and of course it does account for all 128 players, which can be, I mean, I don't know if it's really particularly confusing, but I heard fellow creators talk about the fact that, of course, that it doesn't have the death count, and I've heard many, many different, very wonderfully articulated reasons why it should have a death count, but of course, those being that, whether someone might be cheating or who's contributing more or who contributed the most, and or squads on whether or not the squad that you're with is actually contributing, I guess, for those individuals who may sit back with tanks or snipers, whatever you want to say. But nonetheless, for me, there is no fun stat indicator, and that's why I actually play. But I can understand those out there that want to that are competitive, that want to be able to see and compare themselves to their fellow players to see how well they've done. But this is the new Scoreboard, which is quite nice, and it is a little something that the development team is giving to players who were very concerned about it. Then, of course, we move over here to the Battle Direct Communication. Alongside the Update 3.2, we're making further improvements and adjustments to how you earn XP when playing Battlefield Portal. And, of course, what's new here, and then they go into tomorrow's XP. We're increasing the per minute XP cap across all Battlefield Portal modes to 300. And as you can see here, and I just want to go straight to this illustration here, of course, the full featured experience is going to be what's approved by DICE, so you will be able to get your full experience, your mastery, your ribbons, and your weekly missions. And then, of course, once you get into the actual moderated or mod-based type portal servers, of course, then they're going to disable the ribbon experience, And of course, then you're going to have your 300 cap and your mastery caps, and your weekly missions can still be completed in the first one. And then in the restricted mode, where you use more of the customizations of the particular portal, then of course mastery, ribbons, and weekly missions are completely eliminated. All right, guys, so you'll have to let me know down in the comments if you are encouraged and enthusiastic about the latest 3.2 changes. Is this going to be enough to bring you guys back? Are you anticipating more changes from DICE before you decide to come back and play? And what are your thoughts about the community returning? If you haven't already, guys, make sure you click that like button, as I will continue to do Battlefield 2042 coverage as well as shorts. And appearing there on the screen, that would be the channel icon to subscribe, along with notifications. That way you guys will know when there's content here on the channel. And I will see you guys in the next update.